Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we shall be looking at how we can hack into a Wi-Fi router or even a phone hotspot and get free internet access. So guys, please remember that this information should not be used for any unlawful purposes because it might land you in trouble. So guys, why don't we roll? Let's we do this. So guys, what I'll be doing is we'll be using this phone as a mobile hotspot, or this phone can represent your router and this phone will be the client. So what I'll be doing is when this hotspot is on, this client will try connecting with the host, that is the hotspot, and then in between they will be exchanging packets. That is, this phone will be sending packets to the other phone, and in between there will be a handshake so that the phones can be able to communicate. So what I'll be doing is I'll be sniffing that handshake file that is sent from the host to the client, and we'll be trying to decrypt that handshake so that we can get the password of that Wi-Fi network or that hotspot. So how are we going to do that exactly? We are going to be using this bad boy. So this is a Linux operating system. And what we'll be doing is we'll be trying to capture now the handshake using this Linux machine. But before we delve into all that theory, there's something I would like to show you. For us to be able to get the password of the handshake file correctly, we'll require something known as a word list. So the work of a word list is to basically, it's like a dictionary. Let me show you one. Go to the file system. Remember, I'm using Kali Linux because it's almost impossible to hack a Wi-Fi or a router using a Windows machine. So I'll head to my file system, go to the user directory. Under user, we have another subdirectory known as share. And under that subdirectory, we have a word list directory. So basically what we have here is a roq.txt. This .txt file is always in any Linux machine. Even if you are using, Backtrack, you might be using other flavors of Linux, but be sure you have this txt file. So let's open it and see what is inside this txt file. You can see now the number of passwords. These are possible combinations of passwords that people usually use. So in this file we have over 14 million possible passwords. You can see them. This is a very, very long file, and I'm sure it's almost, you see, we cannot actually scroll to the end, so it's a very, very long file. So this is a file that I'll be feeding to my cracking tool. My cracking tool is known as wifite. So what I need to do is open a terminal window. This is how we do it. You can just press Ctrl-Alt-T, or if you're using the GUI, you can open up a terminal and log in as the root using the sudo su command, then pressing enter. From there we'll be required to input our password. Remember, Kali Linux doesn't show you the password when you're typing. So let me input my password. It's a long password. That's it. Then from there, what I need to do is type the command wifite and then tell wifite that I'm going to use a certain word list which is in my file system. How do we do that exactly? You just write wifite, then you tell it that you're going to use a dictionary which is located under the user share. Then under share you have another folder known as word lists. Then the name of that word list is roq.txt. So that's it, and then you hit enter. So you can see I don't have any Wi-Fi hotspot which is on right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on my mobile hotspot. So let me do that. Let me start my screen recording, sorry. So what I'll do is I'll turn on my hotspot and then navigate to settings. Under settings, I want to change the name of my, my Wi-Fi hotspot. That's it. So let me call it DN. Initially it was named to be hacked. Let me call it DN. Okay. Let me input my password. I was using a very sophisticated password, but for simplicity, because I don't want to use all the CPU resources, in this case I'm going to use a very simple password, which is something like from 1 to 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so that's it. Now when you look at my machine, you'll see that DN has started appearing, and we have we have two targets. That is, number one, we have Android share, so this must be a sender hotspot, and then we have DN. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the target that I want to attack. In this case, I want to attack DN, which is my router, or in this case hotspot. Remember, it's very, very illegal to attack somebody's else router without their prior consent. So what I'm doing is, in this case, I'm just going to press Ctrl C and then enter the name or the position of the router that I want to attack. In this case, DN is number 1, and then I hit 1, that is DN. Now DN is number 2, and then hit enter. So in this case, now we are starting an attack against DN. You can see the MAC address of Dreadnought MAC address. So basically what we'll be doing in this case, because there is no other client which has connected, you can see actually it's saying failed to capture PKM ID. What is happening is there is no other client which is connected to my phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the Wi-Fi of a second device. This is the second device. So what I'll do is I'll definitely have to turn on its Wi-Fi. Let me do that. So I'll turn its Wi-Fi. Remember, this phone now, I have to authenticate the password so that there can be a connection in between the host and the client. So this is DN. Remember, I have two phones. So this is DN. I have to enter the password, which is from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I try connecting. This phone is trying to authenticate. Basically, when this phone is trying to authenticate, I've entered the wrong password. Let me check my password. I don't actually recall the password that I've entered. So my hotspot password is from 1 to 9, sorry. So it's not from 0, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's show the password from 1 to 9, and then I hit connect. Remember now, my PC, my laptop, is listening to the connections in between the two devices. So the moment these two phones connect, you can actually see on my laptop, we have captured a handshake. So what has basically happened is that my laptop has sent something we call a deauth. It's a deauthentication request which is sent to the client, so that now the client will not be able to connect to the host until my laptop is able to capture the handshake. So the moment I've captured the handshake, it was saved. You can see this is the handshake file which was saved, and then I've also been able to capture the MAC address of the client, and from there I've also been able to get the password on my machine, which is from 1 to 9. And so guys, that is how you crack a Wi-Fi router or even a hotspot to get free internet access. I do hope it wasn't so hard, and soon I'll be dropping a video on how you can crack a Wi-Fi router or even a hotspot using your Android phone. So guys, please stay tuned so that you do not miss out.